Good morning. My name is Coline Célérier. I'm a Bachelor 3 in ESPOL, and I'm here to ask a few questions to Amelia Hadfield, who is a researcher for the Center for European Studies at Canterbury Christ Church University. So first, could you maybe sum up shortly the UK's main point for the proposal for a future partnership with the EU in the field of defense and security?
Okay, that's a very good question. I don't know if I can sum it up, but I'll do my best. I think the main thing we have to work with at this point is the governmental white paper, which came out, of course, a few months ago. Now, this is very, very preparatory. It's not by any sense, the final step. In fact, to be honest, given the nature of the negotiations at this point, I think it's quite far down in terms of the overall shopping list. But that being said, I think there is, within the paper, a clear message. And it's quite a positive one, that Britain obviously still values very much its security relationship with the European Union, its defence relationship with the Union. And I think we find some valuable space within this white paper to negotiate diplomacy and development. So I think you're getting most of the themes that the EU is very familiar with. The main point of the paper is to try to find a different kind of membership, obviously, with beyond the Union structure for Britain. That's going to take quite some time to emerge, I think.
And so do you think NATO is sufficient to guarantee the effective cooperation between the EU and UK, or do we need something else?
It's going to have to be. That's all we've got at this point. So I think, have a strong collective security structure. It underpins the overwhelming sort of ethos of security and defence in the European Union. As long as the Americans are happy to continue to underwrite this in financial terms, I think what's going to be interesting is whether the Brits start literally militating for a more autonomous role within that, and if this comes at the expense of European roles, security and defence cooperation, and also some of the emerging things we've seen in European Defence Agency and Defence Fund. That's when it might go from being a positive sum equation to a zero-sum equation.
Okay. And this paper seems to encourage the cooperation between the EU and third states in general. So do you think its signature could represent a turning point for the European defence? Is the evolution of the European defence and security field is in danger to remain once and for all intergovernmental?
I think the Brits have always been somewhat ambivalent about how fast and how autonomous they want to see Europe continue in terms of security and defence. I don't think they actively want to impede them. I don't think they want to be an obstacle. At the same time, they don't want to have to be the one kind of writing the check or taking the fall if things go badly. In the white paper, the main message I get is they're happy to be partners. They've ever been partners anyway. It's just going to be a sort of sense of maybe a widening gap between British interests and European interests. We'll have to see how the white paper develops, but there's certainly scope for continued parallel partnership.
Okay. And then to retake the name of your conference, shared values or shadow grave?
I'm a great one for snappy titles. I don't honestly think anybody's going to wind up in a shallow grave. I obviously hope that it's going to be shared values.
Okay. And finally, is Brexit good or bad?
Bad, very bad.
Thank you very much for your intervention and your answers. And thank you very much for your intervention and your answers. And thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.